Hi, it's Dan, and I went on another adventure.
Let's go back to the truck so I can get sick.
Remember the hill I was on in my last video and how I mentioned that sometimes it's a struggle to trudge up a pile of sharp gravel? Do you remember seeing the other hill opposite where I parked the Xterra? What are the chances there's a geocache up there too? I was driving to work last week listening to the Geocache Network podcast, the one where they talked about geotrash, and oh boy, do I have opinions about that. But that's not for now. During the introduction, they happened to mention, just in passing, about geocaching challenges. And I got to thinking about challenges and how there's a lot of challenges out there that I'm not even going to attempt. But because I was only paying half attention, I happened to think about how many geocaches I do have listed as found, and that in turn brought me to thinking about the kinds of geocaches I don't like to go find, which in turn brought me to thinking about challenges that I also don't like to do, which somehow brought me to the time that I started geocaching, which, after doing some quick math in my head, which was a neat trick at 4 o'clock in the morning, happened to be 20 years ago this month. And when I realized it had been 20 years since I started geocaching, I had a little bit of a moment, and I thought I would talk about it. 20 years is a long time. I have been privileged to experience a lot of interesting places that I would never have known existed if it weren't for geocaching. Do I head out every weekend in search of the next adventure? No, I do not. But when I don't, I wish I did. I only have 634 finds. I did take a bunch of time off when we first moved to Arizona. I wish I had a good excuse for it, but I don't. Plus, I'm going for quality, not quantity. 634 is more than I have the ability to remember individually anyway, but there were some, let's say, memorable ones. There was the clothing optional beach in Vermont. There's the Old Man of the Valley in New Hampshire. The Shoe Fly ruins here in Arizona. Crown King, also here in Arizona. A fire hose sculpture in front of a fire station in Las Vegas. The VW Beetle on monster truck tires in Oklahoma. The oldest Protestant church building in Orange County, California. Dinosaurs in the desert of Arizona. The Oklahoma City National Memorial. Graceland. The Hershey Chocolate Factory in Pennsylvania. The OK Corral. The Sonoran Desert National Monument. The Hoover Dam back when there was still water in Lake Mead. The ruins of several mines and mining towns. The dozens of places where you are absolutely alone. No people, no internet signal, no streetlights, and many other interesting features that nobody knows exists unless they happen to be standing right in front of it. There were some sketchy alleyways. There was the one time we got questioned by the police because we were poking around in a remote corner of a mall parking lot. This was back in 2004, before everyone walked around looking down at their phones. We had to explain geocaching and that we were not intent on doing harm. It just hit me that 20 years ago I was a very different person, and the world was a very different place. And I get pangs of nostalgia once in a while because I miss a lot of the way things were. And sure enough, there's a geocache on this hill. Luckily, it's not all the way at the top. I only have to climb halfway up. I'm happy for that because this is steep, and even though it's October, it's pretty warm out and the water's going fast. Again, not too difficult to find, but I get to see this view, and that's what I came for. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Let's go back to the truck so I can get sick.